Before I start this video, I just want to say that I plays gold 5 in support. Yeah, best support in the game. Let's go. Add me on Overwatch. My tag is vanessa12171. Okay, no, seriously. I just want to say thank you for the huge support over the last 2 videos I've made. I'm seriously stoked and it's motivating me to keep making videos like these. Now, without further ado, here are the biggest problems with every single role in Overwatch 2. Now, I'm just going to say this. Every single role is balanced and there's no extreme issue to any of them. I just want to simply go over some of the minor problems that could potentially be fixed in the future. To start us off on the list, we have tank. Now, tanks in Overwatch 2 have drastically changed since Overwatch 1. Before, the meta was a ton of shields that DPS would tear through, but now tanks act as a really buff DPS. A support character such as Kiriko or Ana can camp on their tank and it basically makes them a killing machine. To be honest, if Blizzard keeps making tanks as they are right now, I don't think it's possible to fix this problem. The meta that has been set since the launch of Overwatch 2 makes it so that tanks are not just tanks anymore. Yeah, sure, their abilities tank damage, but in reality, they themselves are vulnerable to a lot of damage via their health plus not having much shields. I wouldn't say this is an awful issue, but it definitely changed tanks a lot to the point where they technically aren't tanks anymore. The next problem surrounding tanks is definitely a hard one to discuss. It's about the worst tank in the game and possibly the worst hero in Overwatch 2. It's Doomfist. I'm just kidding. Doomfist is OP as hell. Me and my friends run some open queue comp with a Winston and Doomfist combo, which is a really good combo, by the way. It's pretty overpowered and you should try it with your friends, as long as you're under diamond though, because it probably doesn't work up there. I can't really say exactly how the strategy works, but let me know if you guys want in on it and I can get footage of them winning with Winston and Doomfist combo. So there aren't many problems with DPS, as it's mostly the same since Overwatch 1 and not much changes have been made. There are, however, a few points to be made that DPS definitely struggles on. The first one being the skill gap between heroes. Heroes such as Bastion or Reaper that take little to no skill to be decent at can bring as much value as a really good Tracer or Widowmaker, which takes some skill at the slightest. This is sort of a problem because a really good player who mains a difficult hero can be matched up with a mediocre player playing an easy hero and is basically balanced in matchmaking. This part really isn't an issue, but the fact that there's so many more DPS heroes than tank or support makes the team diversity pretty practical. There are so many DPS heroes that there is a lesser chance that both teams are using the same DPS characters, which is not the case for tank or support. From what I've seen, there isn't a clear meta that works 100% of the time for DPS characters, but there is with tanks and support, mostly due to its lack of characters to combat them. Since the current meta surrounds tanks and support, DPS can get little to no healing at all, while the support focuses on its tank. This can often lead to a team argument and then ultimately losing the game, which is something that you kind of don't want to happen. I don't think there's a clear way to fix this either, only if the meta changes and DPS becomes as relevant as all the other roles in matches. Bastion, however, is obviously excused from this. Unless it wasn't obvious why, then I'll tell you. It's because he's basically a tank that deals a ton of damage. If you pair him with a Kiriko or Zenyatta, he basically becomes immortal if you use him right. For a DPS character that deals a ton of damage, he should not have twice as much health as Tracer, a DPS character who takes a ton of skill to deal damage. Overall, DPS is sort of a mess right now, but I wouldn't say it's ruining meta or matches at all. But if Blizzard pays attention to this, DPS might be a little more fun to play as. Now, I feel like the majority of people would agree with me that support is currently the messiest role right now. They're being targeted by tanks in about every role queue comp game, and so they die really fast and can barely heal their team. Also, the skill gap between support characters is also sort of an issue, especially when there are not that many healers in the game. A really good Baptiste player can get matchmaked with a decent or average Mora player and still contribute the same. For example, Mercy's skill gap. You can match Mercy's damage boost with any already broken DPS hero and it's kind of just unfun for the other team. Especially Bastion, and he does enough damage already. I've seen Mercy damage boost a Pharah, Soldier 76, and a Sojourn all game, and I've lost against all of them. I believe these are one of the issues that are unfixable though, because you can't really nerf for damage boost. It would just make her a useless hero, to be honest. There's some heroes that aren't really for healing as well. Mora, for example, can deal as much damage as a DPS character and heal probably more than a decent support playing anyone else. I can say from experience as a Mora player that she's basically just a DPS with healing. Also, don't take me off as one of those guys who do more damage than healing, okay? I'm just doing my job. especially Moore's ghost ability where she can just instantly click a button to get out. This makes her extremely hard to kill as the cooldown is also short. I would say that the only thing Moore is weak against is a one-tap kill or just a lot of AoE damage, but that also might not be true. Also, not to mention, Brighetti's also really overpowered as a support character. This might be just from opinion though, because I think that her shield and her shield bash may be a little over the top. As well as her damage with her main weapon, anyone who spams that instead of healing the team can probably do as much as a DPS character. Then again, this might all just be from personal experiences and opinions, but I don't know. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. If you guys can tell me your thoughts on Brighetti down in the comments, that would be much appreciated. So yeah, this is all of what I believe are the main problems of every role in Overwatch 2. There might not have been many problems to discuss, nor should there be a lot of people agreeing with me. This whole video is based on personal experience, however, as I did little to no research about this topic. If I'm wrong or I missed something about one of the roles, please let me know down in the comments. This will help me a lot in the future as I'm getting to know what you guys think. And click on these videos if you want to see my other 2 Overwatch related content explaining how Overwatch 2 isn't as bad as you think, and my batch and montage with an accurate title. Don't forget to subscribe as I'm trying to hit 100 subs by the end of November. Or if you haven't thought about it, then that's okay, I guess.